Hello, my name is Phil Guy. I'm the owner of Atomic Studios, and I'd like to start off by thanking you very much for hitting the play button. I know there's a ton of videos out there to watch, and I do appreciate you taking the time to hit the play button on this one. I also have some good news and bad news in this video, and I'm going to go ahead and start off with the bad news because like most of us, we all want to hear that first. The bad news is that this video is pretty much going to suck as far as quality. It's not going to be fancy at all. The good news is that you're going to learn every possible thing that there is to know about how not to get ripped off when it comes to renting a studio. I made this video very simple on purpose because I didn't want to distract anyone with any kind of fanciness or bells or whistles or anything like that to distract from the message. And the message is that you don't have to get ripped off. There is a studio out there that has your interest in mind and understands that the repeat client is worth far more than just the one-time take your money and run kind of a situation. So with that frame, let's go ahead and start. Do you ever get that feeling that studio owners forget what the word budget really means? Does it seem as if they think that somehow you have an unlimited supply of money for all their hidden fees and extra charges just because you're in a production industry? What if one of us filmmakers had enough of their BS and had no choice but to open up his own studio? And imagine that the studio was about 3 times the size of most of these competing studios. 15,000 square feet to be exact, a 200 linear foot green screen, a huge white cyc, a gigantic black void that was open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and never ever charged overtime with no stupid cleanup fees, no studio manager charges, free power, free parking for up to about 100 cars, free wireless internet access, 20 tons of grip and lighting, remote head jibs, steady cams, hydraulic dollies, special effects equipment, and most importantly, an owner that's not a complete ass. Dear filmmaker, I have a few and quick important questions for you. Think carefully as you answer. Are you given budgets that don't allow for any of those ridiculous hidden fees and outrageous overtime charges from studios or any other vendors? Ever wonder why studios charge you just for their employee to sit there and run the studio? Isn't that kind of like paying a parking lot attendant his hourly wage plus the fee for the parking space? Does it seem a bit convenient when the studio owners tell you, due to insurance reasons, you must rent all of your production gear from us? Who the hell made up this BS rule? By the way, it's a total lie. You ever wonder why any service-oriented business would charge you for internet access that they already have? When did they become an ISP? And don't you need a license for that? Have you ever asked the studio owner, how much do Xerox copies cost? As if they were a Kinko's? Are you just plain tired of hearing what you can't do for the same price that was quoted to you over the phone, and how much more everything costs now that you're already there? Have you ever felt as if the studio owner was doing you some kind of favor by renting you his or her place, even though you were paying full price? Does it kind of seem like studio owners don't give a crap about repeat business? If you answered yes to any of these questions, I got some pretty revealing news for you. The news is, you're not alone. The funny thing is, I never wanted to be in the studio business at all. Truth be told, if I could have found a studio that even pretended to care about how much money I made, I would have never took on the huge responsibility and liability of studio ownership at all. Like most of us producers, I gave my client the budget. After a ton of explaining why it was so high, the client would finally approve the budget. The problem was, my pay was included in that budget. And if for any reason I went over that budget, I could not ask the client for any more money. So who was responsible for going over this budget? Me, of course. And none of those studio owners ever cared about the money I made. Actually, they didn't even care if I made any money at all. I don't know about you, but I always go over 12 hours on a shoot. And that leads me to the straw that broke the camel's back. It was the end of about a 16-hour shoot day. And this genius, capital J is no mistake, of a studio owner, hits me with a bunch of hidden fees and falsely accuses my crew of breaking a studio prop that none of us even used. I couldn't help it. I got in this guy's face and started yelling at him about if he had even heard of customer service and how he expected to keep his doors open to an industry that lowers its budgets on a monthly basis. He seemed to be listening, and he even nodded his head a few times, and without interrupting me once, he let me finish my yelling and said, now, I don't remember exactly, but it was something like, it seems to me you got it all figured out. Maybe you should go open up your own studio before it's too late and you forget all that knowledge. Yeah, I know. It was a good comeback. But I still think I read something just like that on the back of a bumper sticker or on the back of one of those t-shirts that you buy at the boardwalk. It really wasn't that original. Anyway, with his calm and quick little comeback, he forgot another very powerful quote. The good old, ask and you shall receive. Little did he know just how much he would receive and where. Being that my dad owned a limo service since I was a little kid, Me, my brother, and my sisters had to learn early on about what servicing a client was all about. According to my dad, true customer service is the assurance of a client's good experience, even at the business owner's expense. What my dad understands is what's known as lifetime value of a client. It's not just the profit of the one job, it's what's ultimately profited over the life of his relationship with that client. Sometimes that means no upfront profit at all. My dad never tries to win them all. Sometimes he loses all profit, but he never loses the client. Now, don't get me wrong, he has also fired clients on several occasions, because there are always bad apples in any crowd. It doesn't matter what service you're providing. So to cut a long story short, I had to light and shoot for other people just to make ends meet. I already had a lot of lights and some pretty cool gear, like a jib, a Steadicam, for my own shows. Ironically, I had acquired much of the gear from studios that went out of business. And as luck would have it, while shooting for another production company, I ended up meeting a still photographer that was ready to let his studio go. So that crabby old studio owner was about to get exactly what he asked for. After operating that studio for almost 3 years, I learned a lot more than what I could have ever imagined. More than anything, I learned that not all of us filmmakers have the same needs. Yet none of us need any added pressure or petty unexpected fees. With this new understanding of what we all needed more of and less of, business went through the roof. We quickly outgrew the 8,000 square foot studio that I started out in, and coincidentally, the landlord of that studio tried to triple my rent. Well, timing was not on that landlord's side because the recession had just hit full swing, and the cost per square foot of a warehouse plummeted to less than half. My realtor, almost by accident, stumbled on the ultimate filmmaking studio with its own mini backlot, double fenced-in parking, and even a full-blown 4-lane bridge. Here's just a small list of what this place had to offer. A total of 15,000 square foot, 20-foot ceilings, 5-space loading dock, parking for up to 100 cars, 4-stall bathrooms, so you don't have to worry about any lines, at least I hope not. Kind of depends on what you eat for craft service and things like that. 2 huge roll-up doors to bring in cars, trucks, large props, whatever you need. 400 amps of house power, very heavy-duty overhead I-beams for wire work, stunts, and things like that. Almost 200 feet from one end to the other for long lens shooting and long camera moves. A smooth concrete floor, T1 internet access. Also came with an amazing under the bridge day or night exterior. An awesome shootable rooftop with a downtown view. Very spacious green room. A huge private and shootable alley. A craft service kitchen, which is my favorite part of the studio. A private office. Double fenced-in entrance. Multi-car capacity in the studio. Big enough to even do driving shots, which we've done a lot of now. Wardrobe and a dressing room, a modern sprinkler system in case those explosions get a little bit out of hand, which is totally okay here as long as you have insurance, a production-sized trash dumpster. It's within 1 mile of 4 major freeways, convenient for all the crew and talent. And then I added the following: a 200 linear foot green screen cyc with a 6-foot radius, easy to light, a 200 linear foot white cyc, a 48 linear foot black void for that endless black background, a huge assortment of flats with windows, doors, bars, in case you need a jail, some very high-end modern furniture, all kinds of set props, including hospital props, Asian, Egyptians, again, a lot of modern furniture, weapons, prop guns, knives, swords, about 20 tons of grip and lighting, a huge movie distro package, which of course is a must for any of those big lights that your DP loves, a remote head jib by Jimmy Jib, and nothing says production value like jib shots, a Phantom hydraulic crab dolly, ProVid Steadicam with low mode, 3 Final Cut Pro editing stations, a movable speed rail lighting grid, an 18-foot rolling scaffolding, a Lemaitre radiant haze generator, a wide assortment of dimmers, variacs, flicker boxes. We have 4 HVX 200s with a ton of P2 cards, even have the Mini 35 adapter if needed, a really nice Zeiss Super Speed prime lens package with all 5 lenses going from 18 to 85. A huge assortment of hand tools, power tools, and a sturdy workbench in case you got to do some of the building there on set. You'll also have access to every type of crew member from PAs to DPs, just in case you need an extra hand. And we don't charge for copies, fax, or printing. All of that is then topped off with a 24-hour shoot day, no overtime charges at all, free bill days. That can save you as much as a whole day in location fees. Again, that's based on availability. Free casting days on days that are not booked. Free pre-light time. Free rehearsal days, and as all of us know, well-rehearsed talent maximizes your shoot day. And as it should be, you have a free on-site studio manager. And last but not least, the coolest studio owner in LA, hands down. I don't think that's biased. It's true. My studio is set up to help out many of us filmmakers, especially if you like unsupervised studio experiences. You need an extra piece of equipment just in case yours breaks down. If we have it, it's yours. We're not at all in the business of punishing people for things that go wrong and accidents. You treat your peers with respect and expect the same in return. You have an ambitious shoot schedule that's tight on the budget. You don't take good customer service for granted. You're in need of a one-stop shop filming solution. You're totally trustworthy and just plain cool. But my studio is definitely not for everyone. This is a real important part of the video here. Atomic Studios is not for you if you're a nose in the air type of snob and you think you're just better than everyone. You're one of those short-term thinkers and try to take unfair advantage of our free offers. You're one of those people that look for reasons to complain. Stay out. Do not call. You think that stealing is okay as long as you don't get caught? Definitely do not call. You like to blame others for your budget shortcomings? Take responsibility. The budget you got is for a reason. You're in need of constant babysitting? You're dishonest. Stay away. You write rubber checks? Can't keep the lights on with that. Or you're just an ass. Don't need you. Stay home. Here's a few of the things that makes Atomic Studios a lot different than our competitors. Free bill days, free casting days, no hidden fees at all, unless you break something, of course. Free T1 internet access, free on-site studio manager, free trash removal, up to a dumpster, a free reshoot day if needed. The studio is open 24 hours, 7 days a week. Time starts from 6 a.m. in the morning till 6 a.m. the next day. And I think one of the most important things is that we understand that if you don't finish and profit from your shoot, that you most likely won't turn into a repeat client. And to be honest, the repeat clients is what keeps us in business. And we're going to do everything we can to stand behind you, within reason, of course. We don't want people taking advantage of that, but at the same time, we don't mind losing, every now and then and making sure that you're able to come back. To sum it all up, for a totally flat rate, you're going to get 24-hour access to a 15,000 square foot studio, including a 200 linear foot green and white cyc, 48 foot black void, all of the flats that we have, about 120 of those, all the modern, and we have retro furniture too, all the high-end props. We even offer some packages with our 20-ton gear package and full crew if needed. And again, no overtime on anything, not even the crew members. Price, you ask? Well, other studios charge as much as $3,000 to $6,000 per 10 to 12 hour day for anything close to what Atomic Studios offers. And for a fraction of that price, you can shoot at Atomic Studios for 24 hours. My guarantee to you is that I have the only 100% completion guarantee in the film industry. No studios let you come back and shoot for free just because you didn't finish your shoot or something went wrong in post and you forgot a shot. They charge you again, just like they did me. So the choice is yours. Risk the potential of not finishing your shoot within the amount of time that they give you, and paying overtime to some old, jaded, tired, rude, crusty studio owner. I should have capitalized the C in crusty there because a lot of them are. Or you can call me as fast as you can at 323-851-3825. Doesn't matter what time you call, even if it's 3 a.m. in the morning. Call me after you're done at the clubs, after on a Sunday. Doesn't matter. We always are picking up the phone. If the phone is busy or you get a voicemail, just call back within 10 minutes. You're welcome to leave voicemails, no problem. But sometimes we're with the client. We can't leave them right away. We're just trying to be courteous to everyone at the same time. Thanks so much for watching this video. I know it was a little bit long and hopefully you got some value out of it. I really, really, really do appreciate you watching this. My name is Phil Guy. I'm the owner of Atomic Studios. One really quick last thing I wanted to say here before I end the video is that many of us have left our families and longtime friends to come out here to LA for a chance at the big time. Let's do what we can to make them all proud. We all have enough people in our lives telling us what we can't do. The last thing we should do is be paying for that kind of advice. Every decision that we make, every second that goes by, every frame that we shoot counts. Alright, I know I said one last thing a few seconds ago there, but this black part of the video where you normally see the credit roll is technically not part of the video. Trust me, I double checked with my friend who's an expert in filmmaking. His name was Alfred Hitchcock. You can ask him yourself if you run into him. But seriously, just about every day we get requests for the most current photos of the studio. So what I did is I put a link below the video here, which is technically over. By clicking on it, you'll be able to have the most current photos of the studio automatically sent to your email anytime you want. And if you do have those photos sent to your email, or you subscribe to our channel, follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, all those kinds of things, I'll be making some videos on how to save even more money when you're shooting in any studio, whether it's mine or anyone else's. I'll also be making some videos on video marketing, showing you what you can do in pre-production, during the actual production, and after you shoot your video to get a ton of exposure to your YouTube channel, your website, and any other Web 2.0 or social sharing property that you might send your video to. And using some of these strategies, I've been able to get some of my clients over 1 million views in a day, along with tens of thousands of subscribers per week. And if it's not too much to ask, I'd love any kind of feedback on any of the videos that you see, especially this video, whether it be good or bad. I really love the bad stuff. Just tell me what you think I could do better, what you think I did too much of, too little of. Any feedback would be very helpful. I really do appreciate it again, and thanks for watching.